Life vibrates everywhere, from the green of the grass to leaves rustling in the wind, to the light that feeds the stars and every living thing. Everything flows and moves continually in an endless cycle that is ever renewed. What a mystery is nature! Few are able to reveal its secrets. As an ancient philosopher said, nature likes to hide. In the heart of Brianza, in the shadow of oaks, cedars of Lebanon, chestnuts, and ancient conifers, is a castle built 1,200 years ago by Princess Theodelinda, Queen of the Longobards. It's no chance that this ancient residence is called Villa Futura, because here the future has taken root in the present. When you cross the threshold, you immediately perceive the perfect harmony between an ancient soul and the ideas that furnish it and project it into the future. In every corner, you can see that past and future are together, the continuity of that creative spark that has always produced and is producing the ideas that mark the greatness of mankind. It is here that Keope World and the Amedeo Maffei Research Center are based. Who is Amedeo Maffei? It's hard to explain in a few words a life devoted to science and research. He is the inventor, the founder, and the president of Keope World, an entrepreneur, team leader, trainer, scholar, a man of many passions, a visionary who has always cultivated great dreams. In 1973, stimulated by studies, intuition, and research into motivation and communication, he held his first course, AM Experience. It was to evolve over the years into other experiences.
What is it exactly? How would you define it?
A voyage in search of those first years of life, when conditioning makes you forget what you really are.
What do you teach in the AM Experience?
Nothing. When they ask me what I teach, I say what you already have inside you. I awaken. I don't teach. I awaken abilities that man has forgotten he has inside of him.
A psychologist for 40 years, he has applied through training and his electronic and ergonomic instruments a global therapy from which more than 40,000 people have benefited.
I invested in a research hospital to do research into lymphocyte subpopulation and hormones behavior into a series of biochemical and biological equilibria that could show that the human mind is in parallel a variable with the state of the spirit. And after thousands of tests, we discovered that this connection does in fact exist, and I called it psychoelectrochemistry.
In the 1990s, together with the Microbiology Center of San Gerardo Hospital in Monza, he researched the relationship between psyche and biological variations. Today, he collaborates with several universities and research centers that study the effects of his discoveries on the human body and psyche taken as an indivisible whole. This is the principle of every holistic discipline. Holistics is a systemic concept. It sees man as a complex organism, body and psyche, in which the whole is much more than the sum of its parts. In a part of this villa, Amedeo Maffei has created a futuristic room, Stargate, equipped with sophisticated apparatus to apply the therapeutic method he devised and to measure the results it obtains.
A man is not a thought. He can talk about his results. Not just dreaming, but bringing other people to dream with you in your dream.
Here a man's dream has taken shape and become reality. The reality of Keope World, an all-Italian miracle.
We are the cradle. We are all potential Leonardo da Vinci's. The Latin cradle is the cradle of inventions, with nothing else. We are visionaries.
It took 40 years of research and results on human behavior to make a discovery that revolutionized the concept of health and psychic and physical well-being. Keope, truly the beginning of a new science.
If a man changes through emotions, what changes in his body? His health. Then it was almost crazy to think that a psychologist could investigate biological events.
And here is Keope, a miracle whose origins go back about 30 years, when at the beginning of the 80s, after 10 years of studying behavior, Amadeo Maffei laid the foundations of the science whose apex is today represented by Keope, and which many years later would be defined global proprioceptive resonance.
Global proprioceptive resonance, a new subject. Keope is the holder of it, and through sophisticated mechanism, a switchboard in mechanic modulation, it leads the human skin in its proprioceptors to create in the brain its induction from the central nervous system to the neuromuscular system, a return to health and equilibrium in a really exceptionally short time.
They are specialist terms, but the concepts are similar, because nature likes to hide in that which is simple and natural her great secrets and her most effective remedies. Everything in the universe is vibrating energy. Man, too, is immersed in this reality that acts constantly inside and outside him. Vibration is the vital force, and it influences life in a positive or negative way. We all experience it every day, but only in recent decades has continual scientific research managed to find in mechanical vibrations therapeutic results that bring great benefits to health. In-depth studies carried out by many universities all over the world in neuromuscular and locomotor apparatus physiology have confirmed that the administration of mechanical vibrations can bring about significant modification to many pathologies in the human body. Before, these were applied to a single point of the human body, exasperating or limiting the therapy. But now, Keope acts through a multifocal application of vibration to precise areas of the body rich in mechanical receptors. It is based on the stimulation of the neurosensitive system, with implications for the neuromuscular and neuropsychological systems. Proprioception is a particular multisensorial capacity that can perceive our position in space through cutaneous receptors, the world that surrounds us through the senses, and the work of the imagination through the 1,000 expressions of emotion. Keope is an electronic biomechanical structure that allows the global proprioception of each individual to receive the maximum stimulation, with incredible results on general well-being. Today, Keope is the only structure in the world that is based on this therapeutic approach, and it represents the most modern evolution in the field. Using available scientific research and technological instruments to structure the therapy in specific protocols. Keope, the purest of designs for global well-being. Keope is an essential ergonomic structure.
It's a design structure, a postural structure. Now research science describes it as an essential ergonomic structure. So the human body on that structure is at its best because there's no compression, and the gravitational opposers are the points where the body is symmetrically aligned.
The purest of designs, the latest evolution of postural science, the act of vibration, of resonance, of position, of the holophonic sound. Keope's ergonomics lead in just a few minutes to a correct posture and dimension of total relaxation, with extraordinary benefits.
Not only it is an object, as I will explain, that does new things. It's a new discipline, so it opens up new horizons. It's an interdisciplinary discipline. What is Keope in reality? It's cutaneous stimulation of the mechanoreceptors. In ancient times, let's say, something existed but had other functions, the vibrating platform. But this structure involved the whole body and there were thousands of problems. This is cutaneous stimulation, so it reaches the central system and so has advantages for the hormonal and neuromuscular system. And other things I can talk about here, but it certainly has a great future. It's aimed at many sports teams, soccer, tennis, volleyball, basketball, climbers, because it reinforces incredibly the prehensile abilities of the physique. It's also aimed above all at physiotherapists, hospitals, clinics. In fact, the world of Keope is immense. Spas, wellness centers. I could spend the whole evening talking about how much it's used and the success it's had.
It improves the respiratory, cardiac, and vascular systems and eliminates every kind of physical problem related to muscular and skeletal apparatus. Keope, in postural terms, offers 11 essential points of contact that have the function of supporting the body and are thus supports that oppose gravity. This condition of total lack of functional load and ideal posture is the best premise for applying Keope's proprioceptive resonance stimulus, produced by 10 mechanical vibration motors positioned beneath each support point. 12 minutes are enough to feel well and obtain immediate global well-being. A holophonic sound system, a cutaneous resonance system, and a posture with total lack of functional load. This is the magic of Keope. It's like being suspended in a dream, outside space and time, in a state of detachment from the outside world and total abandonment, immersed in a weave of sounds that is close to the breathing of nature. The images evoked sustain the dynamics of the emotional state and are the indispensable support for global proprioceptive resonance. The result is psychic and physical well-being you have never felt before, in perfect equilibrium with yourself and the world. Today, Keope World is a structured reality, involved in training, therapy, and research. Inductive mental therapies. Global corporeal vibrations are monitored with sophisticated instrumentation designed by Amadeo Maffei and also used by universities and research centers.
I was well aware that there's a big barrier in official medicine. They could have created problems for me if I talked about what I was inventing. So what I did was go to these people, open people, and give them the structure so that they could test it, do research on it, apply therapy. And from there, I started telling them what they told me, their results.
There are rooms where bioscience and the protocols for applying global proprioceptive resonance are taught. But what is taught above all is the subject founded by Amadeo Maffei, the holistics of proprioception. The therapy is administered in authorized Keope GPR centers, in partner universities and authorized sports medicine centers. This is Keope World. This is the world of Amadeo Maffei.
When will you feel that Keope has carried out its mission, the reason it was created?
I don't consider Keope a casual creation, seeing that in that situation, in that direction. I've spent 30 years of my research life. Keope is not the result of an idea that came one evening, but of 30 years of belief and silent research, even in spite of those who couldn't believe in it. But Keope is more than a structure, a proprioceptive resonance structure. Keope is a subject, an idea. I like to think when I'm going to sleep at night that I've invented a stone wheel. I'm very happy to think that one day, from the afterlife, I'll see Keope become first a wooden wheel, then the wheel of a Ferrari, and so on. I've invented something that will help mankind. Certainly, it will be others that will do those fine things. Keope is a beginning.